recovering from the flood loss and things like that. So it's something that we do every 5 years. It's kind of nice to see our census, our critical infrastructure, how many households we have, our medium income. So it's kind of a nice deal actually every 5 years to go through it. But it's a requirement if we want any federal funding.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion.
Motion adopting resolution number 2029 to approve the 2020 Regional Hazardous Mitigation Plan.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion been made and second to adopt resolution number 20-29 to approve the 2020 Regional Hazard Migration Plan. Do we have a roll call on that, Bev?
Wick?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yep.
Donlin?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to number 2 on the action items. Main Street Challenge Grant. Attached is a letter from the Main Street manager, Mary Reynolds, requesting financial support for 2020 State of Iowa Main Street Challenge Grant application in the amount of $37,500 for the Vandermeer Bakery building owned by Nathan Cass. Mary is here to present that, and it looks like before Mary and the sheet that you've given us, this program has been working very, very well over a good number of years.
Very good.
For Main Street.
Yes, very much. In fact, Iowa Economic Development Authority Director Deb Durham has used us as an example when she has spoke at various conventions or different things like that. So we're very pleased that she asked for all that information from us. The sheet I just gave to you a few minutes ago is a compilation of all the different grants that we have received, the 6 challenge grants. Rich Zitlow put this together. And as you can see at the bottom, we have improved the Main Street District $1,267,000. We've gotten $405,000 from the state of Iowa. And you have donated the city $190,000 to that total impact. We come to you today to bring forth our 7th application to the state, and that will be for a dwelling on the 2nd floor of Vandermeer Bakery. It will include the front and back facades. Windows will be put on the north side. A garage will be put on the west side, the alley side, 2-car garage. And a dwelling will be made, one dwelling, on the 2nd floor of the building. A new stairway will be put in, or will be taken away, and before there was not even access to the back. So a stairway will be put in there. We would like to ask you today if you would again support us with 1/2 of the amount that we have to come up with. It would be $150,000, $75,000 from the state of Iowa. The other $75,000 has to come locally. And you have been so kind to support us with 1/2 of that amount. And then the other 1/2 will be paid by Nathan and Tana Cass, the owners who are present today. The project, we don't have our bids in yet, but we're estimating that it'll be around $500,000. So, we hope that you will support us again this year. We have supplied you with the design work. And again, it is a 1 dwelling on the 2nd floor. No interior work at this time will be done to the Vandermeer Bakery building, but again, extensive work to the outside. Any questions?
That was a question I was going to ask. I've had a lot of people ask me, is the bakery still going to exist? And it's good to hear that it is. So,
Nathan, did you want to address that, or?
That's our hope, is that Chris is going to stay there. Right now, he does a month by month. Things are going really well for him, though, so it's our hope that we can work with him to make sure that we keep him there. That's our goal, is to keep the bakery downtown.
Anybody else have any questions for Mary?
We would appreciate your support again. I want you to know.
I see Nathan and
Nathan,
there.
did you want him to speak?
Everybody has any questions? questions? for
Did you have a speech prepared?
He's cleaned up, so.
I don't know if everybody's got any questions,
You can see the design. There are a few changes on the Plan 4 is what they were going with. And then if you go to Plan 3, they're just moving the laundry room and mechanical room. That look of it as a half bath.
Yeah, so I made those changes, Mary.
Oh, good, they've got the right one. Great. Then you're looking at the right design. But again, your impact.
And it goes with past history. I can remember when we first started promoting apartments and things like that on Main Street, a number of years ago. And Rich and I know Rich and Mary and our group have worked very, very hard on it. And if it's any conclusion as to what this has done and the money we spent, I think the proof is right here.
Yeah.
But it's helped.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is what one grant looks like, this with the Browns. So it's a lot of work. And it's Rich Zitlow, Dr. Steve Collins in Florida is still working with us, and then myself. So, and of course the CASAs. So we would be so grateful because your input is very important to the scoring that we get from Des Moines, because most towns don't have the wonderful relationship that we do with our city council. So we come before you today to ask for $37,500, please.
Any other questions for Mary or Nathan?
Nathan, any idea on what kind of rent this might bring in?
No, this is a dwelling.
So it's
They
gonna
will be living.
a
They will
purchase.
be living there.
Well, you guys will.
Our plan right now is to sell our house and move down there, and just, I guess it's kind of been, you know, like seeing between closets and some other buildings, that it's just, I hope it's continued to be a domino effect where we clean up one building and then someone else,
Sure.
open it a while there and do another building and just
I
keep
didn't
it
realize that. Good for you.
And this is a new catalyst for us because we have not had the ability to have this be a dwelling for anyone. We've done rental properties or a bed and breakfast or a dance studio when it was beauty college. So this is another great thing, and it extends and builds on the capacity that the team has in helping other building owners to do stuff with their second floors and or facades.
Motion to approve the Main Street Challenge Grant application with the City of Lamar's funding $37,500 of the project from the Economic Development Fund.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made second to approve the Main Street Challenge Grant application with the City of Lamar's funding $37,500 of the project from the Economic Development Fund. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Mary.
very much.
Thanks, Nathan.
Mary,
Yeah.
on the theater, the city owns that building.
Yes, that could be a project.
Is it, would they grant for a city project like that because it's not private owned?
We've looked into it already, haven't we, Rich? Yeah, it would qualify, but when Scott was here, he said that, and of course, you're in charge now, but Scott had deferred to any, to any private project, building owner to have priority over it. But I think it's something we need to start thinking about.
Yeah.
And don't think that Rich and I have let that go in our thoughts, because we just made calls on another grant to find out, you know, if we could do the theater with it, if those funds could go there. So.
Yeah, so that's always been, there's always been so much interest from private
Yeah,
that we've kind of
understand
stepped
that.
aside.
I was just hoping it'd be an open year sometime. The longer that sets, the more it deteriorates up there. I know we got windows in it, and we've done some work, but.
Yeah, no, it could be. There are 9 other business, buildings in town that want this same grant.
So in 10 years, Ken.
Well, Rich and I won't be working then.
I'll mark it on my tombstone.
But we do watch all the time for stuff that comes from historic preservation and stuff. So it's far and few in between, but we try to go for everything. So thank you so much again for today.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, moving on to Council Mayor.
Good.
Nothing.
Street painting, still coming along, everything's getting whitewashed, are we still getting white put on?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. That's a short answer, Steve.
Okay. I just was approached today before I came.
But in the same.
I think, as a matter of fact, I think that is, the last time I talked to Scott, it might have been towards the end of last week. That was their intent for part of this week.
Okay.
Is to get back to
Thank
the
you.
line painting.
Thank you.
I hope your complaint wasn't the same one that got hold of me here 2 weeks ago. It was about the painting at the Hy-Vee corner. I noticed that's done as far as
Yep.
on the 12th Street
Yep.
side, so we are working on it, yeah. On top of it. Okay, Jason, she's all yours
All right. You guys have been pretty easy going so far.
so far.
I have nothing then. A few things I'll just touch on. I mean, in case you get comments, there are, been mentioned a couple of weeks ago, there was the whole issue about downed trees in the river. So we're able to get in there and clean some of that out. Since that time, a couple more have fell in that same general area. So if you get reports of there's trees in the river, we're aware of it. So we'll get them taken care of.
Sounds like a job for our hazard mitigation plan.
Yeah. I don't know if that's in there. Just an update, the pond out there at the campgrounds, water is way down this year. So we're gonna take that opportunity to do some more cleaning up of that pond. Throughout the years, since the dredging of it and then through the construction phases, that sand from that beach has washed down in there, so we've lost kind of what we originally had planned. So with the water being down, we're gonna hire somebody to come back in and pull that sand back up. So every time you think you're done with it, there's always something to do. First Street Northeast, you see that railroad crossing, that will take the rest of this week to get done. A little update, I would have kind of a little update on the CWC packets I would hand out. We had a progress meeting yesterday, but they didn't provide an update like that, so you don't have that this week, but it is on schedule. New addition, I'll give you some numbers here. The new addition is at 42% completion. The renovation part, which is the stuff inside, the rearranging and adding inside, that's at 77% completion. I didn't figure that average. Anybody want to figure that average? Overall average, but total contract cost so far that we've spent is 36% of it. That was as of the end of June. So Dick, you asked if it's on budget.
Yeah, I always ask you that.
You can compare those.
Okay.
And then what should be starting within the next week is the roof on the new addition. Nohala's gonna do that. So once they do the new one, they're immediately gonna move to replacing the existing, the one above the gym. So that should be getting done. I would anticipate them starting that probably Monday. I think they might move in Friday and over the weekend and then start next week. Exterior brick will start going on that addition, so that purple color will go away and it'll start to look like a building. And then a lot of painting will go on inside in a lot of that existing space. So all of that will start to get cleaned up. That's Cleveland Park's still moving. I was just up there this morning and they've got more of that equipment put in and moving along.
Generating excitement in that neighborhood, I know that.
Yeah, they mentioned people will stop and look, and I asked, does anybody stop and help you? Yeah, no. But that's moving. That's probably got, they're getting ready to install a couple of the swing sets this morning. We're still waiting on one piece of equipment to arrive, and that's supposed to come tomorrow. Then everything should be on site.
When does the bathroom up there start?
There is no date.
Okay.
There's no date.
Yeah, but that's gonna be within our own group here, so.
Mm-hmm.
To make sure we do that, yeah. Okay, any other questions for Jason? Thanks, Jason, for the great update and where we're at, so. Okay, Jacob?
Okay, I don't have a whole lot today. Just wanted to update the council a little bit on the outlook. I know we talked about with COVID stuff, some revenue losses. We're still looking at revenue losses. I think last figure I gave you was around 600,000. I just ran it again and I came up with 500,000 this time. So things are looking better. We'll know a lot more coming up in the next couple months here. By August 15th is when they'll let us know on the local option how that's going to come in. So that'll give us a good feel on that, how much lower that's going to be, or if it's going to be affected. I'm sure it'll be affected some, but how much. Road use has been better than expected, and so we just kind of have to see on that too, how that plays out. It's looking more positive than it was, but we still have to be cautious.
Now, which budget is that going to affect, mainly? The one
General fund.
we've just started, you're right, but the one we've just started?
Yeah.
I always get
Yep.
mixed up because your fiscal years and all that stuff,
Right.
okay, so I'll be the
It-
first to admit I get mixed up easily. So it's
It
gonna
will-
really affect the one we have budgeted, correct?
Correct,
So
yeah.
we'll be doing adjustments, or
Yeah.
somehow we're gonna have to compensate.
Yeah, we'll have to watch our expenditures.
What's that?
Well, it might mean, so projects we may have anticipated doing this year, like, okay, you brought up the restroom. That's not part of the playground, but that money's gotta come from someplace.
Right, absolutely, and I get.
So those decisions will have to happen, okay, so, yeah, we sure would have liked to do something this year, but
Oh, two.
if the money's not there, we gotta pick and choose,
Right, absolutely.
so.
Okay, all right.
That answer your question?
Pretty much.
Any, Jacob, appreciate you checking into that and keeping track of it, and keep that figure going down.
Yeah,
Get it?
well, I hope it does.
Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
There are none, no, just a minute.
There's a
We're
motion
gonna
on the
talk
table.
about the assessor, or the
Census.
census, because that's important. And Greg, can you tell us where we're at on it, or where they're at? Aren't they coming through next, kind of wrap doors now?
I haven't heard when they'll start, but I know everything was pushed back to, the last I'd heard, to around this time period where they'll start door knocking to get to those addresses where people have not yet responded. Initially, that would have taken place around the first part of June, but with the whole COVID thing, everything got pushed back. So if they haven't started knocking yet, which I haven't heard that they're in Lamar's, they will be shortly. So,
And the last I heard, we were, unless you're up to date, but 71.5%, I believe,
correct.
is what's turned in so far. So we got about 30% to go.
Yep, and that put us in the top 10% within the state, so that's really pretty good.
And there's a lot of dollars that's floating out there yet that we could sure capitalize on if they would just go ahead and do it. Okay, now.
Motion to adjourn.
Sorry.
Motion made and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?